Hello everyone, today I'm just doing a video on hair algae. As you can see, I've got a very hairy tank. Now what causes hair algae is first off an excess of nutrients in the water, which I had because this tank didn't have very many plants in it when I had a heap of fish in here. The second thing is a excess of light, so algae always requires quite a bit of light to get a foothold. And I've got a 4-foot plant glow Aqua One LED light in here that I've had running for 8 hours a day, so the hair algae's had more than perfect conditions to establish itself. So to control this, I'm going to use a 3-prong method. The first one is going to be manually removing the hair algae with a plastic card, like a library card, that will be used to scrape on the front and back of the glass just to get these strands that are growing here that are easy to remove. The second part will be I'm going to remove all the guppies from this tank and move them to another tank because I've got two Siamese algae eaters, which are right here. They will eat hair algae and they do a very good job of it, but they have to be persuaded to do so because if they've got other food sources, which they do in this tank, they eat the guppy food and they eat the guppy fry, so they're not going to touch the hair algae. So they have to be persuaded to eat the hair algae by being starved just a little bit. Then the other method I'm going to use to control it is where it's particularly bad and where I don't think the fish can get into it to eat it. I'm going to use a syringe with C-Chem Flourish Excel, which is a algaecide as well as a fertilizer. So once I do that, that should get the tank in a better balance with the nutrients and nitrogen cycle, so it should help just get rid of the algae. So this tank doesn't have any ammonia spikes or anything in there because the algae actually does do what all the aquarium plants do, but it just looks terrible and it can act like a fish net. I've got cherry shrimp in here, but they won't actually eat hair algae. They'll eat off it like a moss, but they won't actually help in the problem at all. So some of the plants that are in here is obviously Borbitis at the back here, Ligugia with the surround leaf variety, guppy grass at the front, tiny little bit of Bucephalandra at the back here, Anubias pinto right here. This one is Monte Carlo, but it's not doing very well, and there's a little bit of Java fern stuck to a rock. This is the dwarf hairgrass, Ligugia narrowleaf variety, Anubias nana petite, Rotala rotundifolia, but you can't really see it because it's got a nice wig on it. More Borbitis because I absolutely love that plant. So I'm probably going to do 3 or 4 videos on how to control the hair algae. I've got it in pretty much all my tanks, but this is by far the worst one because I let it get out of hand. So the other method you can use to kill hair algae, of course, is using a spray bottle or a syringe with hydrogen peroxide. I don't want to do that for this tank just because if you overdose hydrogen peroxide, it will cause gill problems for your fish. Even though after 48 hours, hydrogen peroxide will dissolve out into the water and be perfectly fine. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment, like and subscribe. Hopefully my video audio is a little bit better. I'm using a better camera.